the Psychic News Network, and I was just fixing a cup of tea so we can read the tea leaves. And I feel like I need to adjust things. Hang on. Let me know how you're doing. It's hump day. Someday I'll have roadies. Let's see. We did not get flooding yesterday, fortunately, Cheryl. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Let me know how you're doing and that everything's working properly. Today is August 9th, 2023. And, oh, hi Kalani. I haven't seen you in a while. Happy hump day. There's so much going on. It's like, the news is like a yo-yo, right? You know, like great news from Ohio yesterday. This morning we found out, no, actually it was last night, we found out that Ohio voted no on turning into an autocracy. So Yahoo, check out, I sang the Ohioans a little song in one of my shorts. I'll sing it later. There's Ohio now. Good job, Yvonne. Yeah, James got plenty of sleep. That's good. I know. It's so there's good news, and then there's, you know, my heart is so heavy for Maui. So let's take one little moment and just think about the people on Maui. It's really interesting. It's like, this is all global climate change. This is all fossil fuel burning. This has all been scientifically predicted from the data that the fossil fuels are creating wildfires and floods and really Armageddon-like weather. And we have to do something. So I'm going to write again to Joe Biden and tell him that we're in a global climate emergency. They did write back. So if you write to the White House, you will get a response. And if you want to know the correct address to write to the White House, to tell Biden, oh, thank you for being a member. If you want to write to Biden at the White House, to the administration, and say to declare a climate emergency, it's time. I think I'm going to do it every week. I'm going to send another email. We do have the address, grassrootsofdemocracy.com. You can find all the notes from all of our meetings. And we were really, speaking of our meetings, we were really on the topic of what was going on in Ohio. So I think what happened in Ohio really showed us there's lots of reasons to have hope. You're congratulating me on calling the results in Ohio? Oh, thank you. Congratulate Ohio. I just called it. What I felt was I might even call it the anger, the rage in Ohio. It was like, whoa, all those people being so upset about this and so in the know about this. I really felt it when I was reading on it. So let's take a look. I mean, people in Maui, they're burning to death, and I just can't even. It's really hard. It's really hard for all of us to be seeing what's going on there. So I'm gonna pull 3 cards about global climate change. Canada might have to build a wall if, God forbid, 45. We don't talk like that, Darren. Don't even get me started. Because you know how I get. We don't even say, we don't even mention, we don't give any mental energy to the thought of this malignant, murderous, sociopathic, crazy, insane, malignant, narcissistic, horrible scum of the earth excuse for a human being. We don't even give a thought to him occupying the White House again. It doesn't even cross our minds. So, oh, and Dale has friends. It's tragic what's happening on this planet right now. And I always go back to what Neil Young said when Howard Stern was interviewing him. I think it was like in February. When he was getting him to talk about, attempting to get Neil Young to talk about politics, and he just stopped him and he said, the only thing that matters is global climate change. Right? True? So I'm pulling 3 cards on that. And I don't mean to get all over your case. I don't mean to get all over, and I understand, Darren, that afterwards you said we almost must vote blue. We're not even going to entertain a little, thank you for the donation, Earth, I think it's Earth Mama. We don't even entertain it. We don't even let ourselves go there in our thinking because we have to stay ultra mega focused. We'll be mega focused on MAGA being vanished. I'm pulling 3 cards about global climate change and whether we're going to get a handle on this. I've read about it before. Let's see if anything shifts. When enough people are suffering. The guides always say when enough people are suffering. There's nobody that global climate change is not going to affect. Yeah, Cora Smith is saying, I freaking studied global warming in the 1970s in college. It's the science, the data, the studies have been out since the 60s. And the first, I don't know if the first Earth Day, I think was in 69. If they were talking about global climate change then. I know it was around that time that it started to really get talked about. Yeah, we just did a moment of silence, Kathy, for Maui. But we have to do more than that. So this is about global climate change. The Fool. We are absolute fools. I got this card the last time I read on global climate change. Was it 1970, the first Earth Day? I thought it was 69. I guess 69 was the summer of love, and then all that love turned to the planet. And Earth Day happened around the time that we got our first photograph of planet Earth from the moon. You decided to donate to your grad school, Kent State. Oh wow, really? Where 4 were shot dead. Okay. You decided to donate to your school, Kent State in Ohio. Good, yeah, you got inspired by Ohio. Ohio's picking it up. Michigan's picking it up. Everybody's picking it up. We're picking it up. On global climate change, we have been absolute fools. When we start to see things like what's happening in Michigan in terms of the democracy getting really strong in Michigan, when we see what's happening in Ohio with J.D. Vance and Jim GYM Jordan, the grossest. Donald Trump has this name that he calls people human scum. I'm just going to leave that there. Anyway, we're finding out that we can move mountains. So we're going to have to apply the same thing to global climate change. Ohio is motivating us. Michigan's motivating us. Kansas last year motivated us. So we thought they'd go for abortion bans with their extreme, many, a very red state views. So we can get action on global climate change. It's just every time I read on it, every time I read on global climate change, I get the same thing. It's going to get really, really, really bad before we actually make significant changes. When is it going to be? 67 was the summer of love. Are you sure it wasn't 69? You're messing up my history in my brain there, Warren. Kathy, where you been? Yeah, the Ohio election, they voted to keep democracy. Good thing you show up. Otherwise, you might not know the news. That's why it's called the Psychic News Network. I'm going to start to call this network PNN, Psychic News Network, a pro-democracy channel started by a psychic. Isn't it really bad already, global climate change? What I'm talking about, because I'm reading on whether we will see significant measures taken, what I'm talking about is when economically we can't keep up. Doing careless has been good for you to do? Carless. I thought you said careless, sorry. Yeah, I don't drive much myself. I drive maybe 10 miles a day. Maybe 20 miles a day. Alright. Ohio used to be blue. Yes. When we can no longer live on Earth, then it will change for sure. That's what I say. Every single time I read on global climate change, I get that when it's affected every single one of us, and it will if it hasn't already, that's when changes will happen, including potential sinking of Washington, D.C. into the rising sea level. If you like my Democratic jingle, I'm going to sing it again in a little while when there's more people here, because I want you all to learn it. Darren went carless, and she wants us all to know it. If you can, it's a good thing to do. I used to ride my bike a lot, but it scares me how people drive around here, so I don't ride my bike anymore. The Knight of Wands. The younger generation, I always get this, it's the younger generation that's going to step in out of necessity to stop global climate change, to at least curb it, because it's too late to stop it. The Five of Swords. I think these cards are consistent with what I usually get when I read on global climate change and whether we're going to take initiatives and drastic measures to turn this sinking ship around. The Knight of Wands, it's a younger generation. It's the Greta Thunbergs and that generation that is going to make a change. But I did see when I read on it before, the last time I read on global climate change, I saw all the nations in absolute crises and the world leaders on the phone with each other saying we have to do something and we have to do it fast. And Rhonda Rue likes to ride her bike to the store. Good. So that's what I have on global climate change, and please everybody here to just at least feel like you're doing something, at least as a, as a help or a tribute or something to acknowledge the people in Maui right now. Write to the White House. Go to grassrootsofdemocracy.com and check our notes. We have the information there as to how to write to the White House. Feinstein fell. Speaking of waiting until, not doing something unless you absolutely have to. Dianne Feinstein, Dianne Feinstein, I'm switching topics, I know. If she doesn't just step down, she's gonna just die in her seat. Okay, yes, these are good cards. This is the Tarot of the Divine. Let's talk about the indictment, okay? I'm here to tell you, when you do this kind of work, I've been doing this work for 30 years, 30 plus years. I'm on my 30th year of having worked as a psychic. I'm learning a little bit more about using the pendulum, because I've used the pendulum for a lesser amount of time than I've been a tarot reader. The pendulum consistently said the indictments would be happening on Tuesday, and it's Wednesday and it hasn't happened yet. But I've noticed that the pendulum picks up on predominant energy, and the indictment energy is in the air. Maybe it's next Tuesday. We seem to be on an indictment Tuesday schedule. I think it's been Tuesday. So, I was shaking my head today, like the pendulum was so clear and so strong. Indictments, yes. Indictments, yes. But it just wasn't yesterday. So we can ask again, but I have noticed that the pendulum reads the most predominant energy, and indictments are in the air. Seriously. So we're going to pull 3 cards on It could be next Tuesday. I know, but it was just so strong. My pendulum kept swinging like crazy. Yes, indictment. I think something happened. Earth Mama, yeah. I do think something happened. I think that's what my pendulum was picking up on. We're not being told everything. Are you talking about Feinstein needing to stay? I know, but you can't have somebody stay in their seat if they're practically dead. You know what I mean? Love is in the air. I like that. Okay, so now I'm going to sing you my democracy song. For the people of Ohio, and I want you all to learn it, right? Here it goes. Sometimes I change the last two words. It goes like this. We are Americans, we love democracy, we participate in all our governing. We are taking back control of all the rights they stole, 'cause love is stronger than the hateful GOP. What do you think? I'm not going to get down on Feinstein. I'm not going to get down on her. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not an ageist. She's almost 90. She's obviously in poor health. Right? Did you like the song? I want you to learn it. I'll sing it again, next time. Yeah, that's McConnell's fault. That if she leaves her, and let's say when she leaves her seat, when Dianne Feinstein, who knows? McConnell and Dianne Feinstein might have to leave together. I mean, it's sad when people's health is failing. We don't want them to. I mean, somebody keeps saying we need for her to stay. CM. I have to just let that go. You like my democracy song? She's been a great senator. Nothing is impossible. They should play my song at the Democratic Convention in 2024. I'm going to get it out there more. I also have a chant for another chant for Democrats winning. McCarthy needs to leave too. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the Dianne Feinstein topic. I already read on Mitch McConnell. Why is McConnell in charge of the committee assignments as the minority leader? Okay. I'm overwhelmed. I'm reading on indictments. I see a bunch of questions being posted that I've answered already in past like less than a week's times, but I'll look at some of them again. The indictment. What Fani Willis has been doing is making the case as strong as possible. Did I hear about the aliens attacking people in Peru? Damon, I just went off the deep end just then. It's like I have 25 topics in my head, and then Damon says, wait a minute. Did you hear about the aliens attacking people in Peru? I just went into complete overload. No, I did not. I didn't. Okay, back up. Oh my gosh. No, I did not. It's always something. Yeah, well said. It's always something. I think I said that earlier. They don't do. Now we're gonna have a whole conversation about aliens attacking people in Peru. Sorry. I hope that's not happening. And he's serious. Alright, I'm reading about the indictments, and I just dropped the cards that I had. Alright, Fani Willis is strong. She's building a stronger case. What Fani Willis is doing is building a stronger case so that she can. This is interesting because it looks like. So she can kind of, get as much as she possibly can to indict and prosecute Trump. It's been one of them days. Yeah, the moon today is in Gemini. I just want you to know, I'm not talking about Dianne Feinstein anymore tonight. Maybe another day. It's international news about the aliens in Peru. Okay, what did they do? What do you mean the aliens attacked people in Peru? In the mountains? Yeah. This is Fani Willis. She's building the strongest case that she possibly can because she's really gonna nail Trump. And it's not because, I can't even believe it, how the cultists, well, I can believe it because they're in a cult. They're like, they cannot believe that they're doing this to Trump. Like they can't believe they're doing this to Trump. It's like, well, he did it to himself. He did it to himself. You know? It's the weirdest thing. I'm going to read right now. What? You saw the thumbnail about aliens attacking people in Peru? Oh my God. I'll read on it. Not right this second, but I'll read on it. I heard the aliens were actually illegal gold miners with jetpacks on. I'm totally lost. I'm out in space right now. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find. I better stop because YouTube will take my channel down. I'm a rocket man. Okay. The moon is in Gemini. You think they're kidding you? I don't believe the aliens were attacking humans in Peru. Sorry. It's never a dull moment. That's for sure. I'm trying to figure out what I wanted to read on next. There's a whole list. I'm going to read on this. I'm going to read on how Kevin McCarthy is doing and his cohorts. We know who they are. The people that knew about the insurrection that are in our government now. Lock your window, they're called face peelers. Jeez. There's an increased interest in ETs and otherworldly beings. There's always an interest in that. Finally announced it will be next week. I'm thinking Tuesday, because Tuesday was just coming through so heavily. I just thought it was going to be yesterday. We'll read on Marshmallow McCarthy. We're reading on all the fake people, the insurrectionists in our government, the fascists. What's going on with them right now? Well, they're up to nefarious things. They have the devil. They're the devil. They're the devil. The insurrectionists that are in our government. However, I'm feeling like there's secrets about them. At first I thought, is this them keeping secrets? But no. This is that there are secrets about them. And they're trying to figure out how to deceive their way out. Remember the other day, on Monday, I said that it was very clear, I have a very clear psychic impression, that the only plan of action that the insurrectionists in our government have at the current time is we have to keep lying to the base, which is a little bit concerning. That's the only plan. The Jim Jordans and the Kevin McCarthys, because he knew too, the Ted Cruzes, the Josh Hawleys, the Marjorie Trader Green, Lauren Boebert, Biggs, Gomer, Gosar, all of them. Their game plan, what they sit down and they talk about, is how to talk to the base and the base only. How to rally their base to be believing them. They're counting 100%. All the insurrectionists, all the people in our government that were part of the insurrection, they're counting 100% on the base, the Trump base. Okay, you can formulate a question about the aliens attacking people in Peru, and then I will read on it. Okay? So all I need from you, from somebody, is formulate a question that you want to ask me about aliens attacking people in Peru. I have seen in the chat, like I don't even know if you're paying attention, because everyone's, I don't care if you're not paying attention, but it looks like, because do what you want, but the aliens were illegal gold miners according to the newest news report. Formulate a question if you want me to ask about it. Read the community guidelines, please. For what? It's okay. I don't mind. I mean, I hope you're not too distracted. That's what our Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are. It's kind of a free for all. It's kind of a party. And so, and I like to read the chat because you guys are hilarious for one thing. Are the aliens looking for George Santos to bring him home? I don't think they want him. McCarthy signed on. Oh, McCarthy signed on to go forward with impeach. I have a little prop for McCarthy. Okay, I have a little prop for McCarthy. Remember that I said when I tune into Kevin McCarthy, Kevin Marshmallow, hostage of the House McCarthy, I said that there was a doll, there's a male doll that was called Stretch Armstrong, and you could stretch Armstrong. Does anyone remember Stretch Armstrong? I was talking about that last week. Well, I have a little, man, this is my Kevin McCarthy, Marshmallow McCarthy, McCarthy. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for the generous donation. I much appreciate it, and all your donations. It's very sweet. Yeah, I'll read on your questions. Okay, so this is Kevin Marshmallow McCarthy. I have this. I went to like a mental health fair. There was an outdoor fair one time to see what they were up to, and I got this, and I noticed the other day that it's getting, maybe it's from the heat. It's getting a little bit. This is Kevin Marshmallow McCarthy. This is my demonstration. I thought maybe it would break because it's kind of dried out. This is Kevin Marshmallow McCarthy. Woo! Being stretched and pulled. Kevin Marshmallow McCarthy. This is him. This is what his energy's like. It didn't break. I thought it would break. So he's being stretched to the limit. Yeah, that's him. Kind of goofy, doesn't have much of a brain in there. Let's see how he's doing. I know, he will break, but I think I want to save him for the future too. Do you remember Stretch Armstrong? Because that's how I was referring to Marshmallow McCarthy. And let's see how he's doing. Let's just ask about him. And then we'll ask about the rest. Toast him in a s'more. Oh, gross. I don't think it would be very palatable. Yeah, we have lots of questions. I'll ask the questions about Jack Smith going after Trump's Twitter and all that too. So, what's Marshmallow McCarthy up to? Working really hard and not getting very far. Thank you, Sharon, for putting my information up. Much appreciate that. Oh, the Nine of Swords. This is the card. Kevin Marshmallow McCarthy is not sleeping very well. Sharon, you rock for putting my info up. Thank you. Twitter was fine for holding on to the tweets. That's right. Yeah. Elon didn't like that. You remember Twitter when it was a decent Twitter, they banned Trump. You envision Marshmallow McCarthy melting on a graham cracker? I like that image. Do we have any artists? Do we have any artists? It's Gumby. It's not really Gumby. It's Kevin. The lead guy in the band passed away today. Gosh, we're losing all the great musicians. No, Mr. Bill. Remember Mr. Bill? Thank you, Warren, for your support. Thank you to the wrenches for keeping us safe from trolls. I heard we had one the other night, but I didn't see it. Robbie Robertson died? Oh, man. Oh, bummer, man. I'm going to have to start channeling their talent. Like we lost Gordon Lightfoot. Who has chocolate? Robbie Robertson, what an amazing talent he was. I think they're all jamming in heaven. Jack Smith had to sell his house. Did he? Is that true? And move his family for safety? Yeah, 45 definitely should be in jail. I'm going to have to listen to some Robbie Robertson tonight. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so this is... You guys are so funny tonight. This is Kevin Marshmallow McCarthy. This is an insomnia card. He's not sleeping very well at night. Please hit the thumbs up if you think of it. I just reminded you. It helps me. The Eight of Wands is, there's some swift things coming at Marshmallow McCarthy, and the Seven of Wands is, he has too much on his plate. Kevin Marshmallow is like, talk about how overwhelmed I am with all the news. Kevin Marshmallow is like, he can't handle it. Let's just put him on a skewer. There's too much. There's like, you know, when I worked in the restaurant industry, when I was a server many years ago, and if any of you have worked in a restaurant, you know what this is. When you're in a restaurant and you're working in the restaurant, and you know you're used to a certain volume, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, there's a festival or something, and then all of a sudden you get completely slammed with customers, and you have not enough hands to serve everybody, not enough bandwidth in your head to keep everything straight, and it's called being in the weeds. That's a restaurant term. Okay, so Shalif knows what I'm talking about. So, you know, and then the chefs, like, they make it worse because they make you feel bad, and then they're yelling at you, so you're like freaked out, they're yelling at you, and you're in the weeds. You can't catch up. That's when you have to ask for help. That's Kevin McCarthy right now. That's Marshmallow McCarthy. He's in the weeds. He cannot handle what's coming at him. It's incredible. Shalif, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe the aliens can beam Marshmallow Man on their spacecraft. So that's 2 votes for the aliens taking people away. Speaking of that, I know that people are talking about... We're going to read about this right now. Somebody's asking if the aliens are going to fix the problem at the border. I don't know. Let's take a look. People are asking me if Trump is a flight risk. And now that question's starting to come up in the news. Kevin, you're melting! You know when you burn your marshmallow in the fire? Like that? Okay. They need to demand... Okay, is he a flight risk? Because I've read on this before. Sharon sending you prayers and love and big hugs. I've read on this before. Do they have ketchup in the south of France? I do believe they do not. When I've read on whether Donald Trump is a flight risk, well, when I've read on whether he will leave the country to escape prosecution, I have gotten he cannot. Kevin hasn't been looking very healthy recently. That's not surprising. Nor is Trump. I cannot imagine that Trump could escape and flee and go live in another country undetected. And I don't think he could make it in a foreign country. For one thing, nobody likes him. Except our enemies. Yeah, exactly what I was just saying. What country would take him? So I don't think he's a flight risk. I don't think he would feel comfortable in another country because, like it or not, I know it's hard to believe, he's actually an American. Like, he's actually, Trump doesn't know anything except America. I don't even know how he was able to go to different countries when he was president. Will Trump still try to run for president in a foreign country? Well, Lisa, you're presuming that he would go to a foreign country. Yeah, the enemies only like him if they can use him. And face it, nobody likes Trump. Yeah, remember the blow-up baby Trump with the diapers that was flown in England? He's looking for an out. The lever's, now, remember, this isn't literal. The lever card means that Trump is looking for a way out. He's looking for somebody to take him in. I actually, what I'm reading about that is there is an invitation. You were in England when they flew the blimp of baby Trump with the diaper? That must have been hilarious. I hope you have pictures. The French will not let 45 live there. Why do people think that he's going to go to France? Just because he mentioned the name of the country during his off the rails? Every single rally he has is even more off the rails. I'm ashamed of the people in New Hampshire that support him. But I have to understand. I mean, New Hampshire's just a hop and a skip from where I am. But you have to understand that these people are in a cult. You're all saying he's going to Saudi Arabia. Well, here's what I'm getting. There is a welcome for him. If he wants to get out of the country and escape, there is a welcome from him, for him. But it's not from France. Hello. I don't even know why he said France. It doesn't make sense that he said France, but I don't think he knows what he's saying. There's an invitation for him. Let's see if it's Saudi Arabia. In other words, there is a country that will take him. Most would not. Okay. Elon got fined $350,000 by the DOJ. Did he pay it? Okay. Would he go? Would he go to Saudi Arabia to live? No. He's an American. He's not, it's not like he's culturally adept. Remember he walked in front of the Queen? I mean, he's not comfortable on foreign soil. They don't want him in France. Anyway, I do see the invitation, but the question was, is he going to attempt to flee? My impression is no. Couple reasons. One is he really just wouldn't think about it. He has everything given to him. Have you ever gone to an all-inclusive resort? Because his life is like Trump's life is like living in an all-inclusive resort. It's really fun if you ever get the opportunity. So he would go from that, being treated like the king that he thinks he is all the time, to no one would cater to him in these other countries. Would he actually go? I keep getting no. So he's really stuck. And I don't care what anybody says. Yesterday he looked awful. I mean, he was saying, I did do a video from outside yesterday. It's under the videos, not the lives. I did see that he said during that rally in New Hampshire, which was held in a high school gym, which, you know, I don't know. Actually, yesterday was cool outside in New England. So, just, you know, we're here. New Hampshire's north of Massachusetts, so it was probably even a little bit cooler. Unless he was way far inland. Anyway, he was sweating like, it reminded me, yesterday when I was outside, when I did the video from outside, right before I did that video, I got like there's an ice cream place, and I got one of the swirl one of those swirl ice creams. And for some reason, I don't know, maybe it wasn't very like cold enough, low enough temperature. All of a sudden, it wasn't that hot here. It just started dripping like water. It just like totally like turned into liquid in my hand to the point where I ate some of it and I had to throw it in the ocean, the rest of it. And that's what Trump looked like at that rally. Never had to do that before. I could not eat the ice cream fast enough. It was melting too fast. And that's what he looked like yesterday. A too fast melting ice cream cone. So he was commenting on how he was trying to say it first before the press said it. He looked really terrible. He was not well. He's not well. I'm going to pull 3 cards on his health. We had the same thought. Oh, Rose Blue is saying her friend sweated like that 4 days before she had a heart attack. The dew point has been really high, and the humidity, yeah, the humidity was really high, which was probably why my ice cream just melted away. It just literally melted out of my hand. It's definitely a physical reaction to stress, but what I'm thinking is, like yesterday there was a really nice cool breeze. I wasn't hot at all. It was just a perfect cool breeze. After a really tumultuous morning with massive storms and tornado warnings. Humidity will melt an ice cream cone like that. Okay, so I'm reading on Trump's health. Being a Trump supporter, truer words hardly ever spoken. A.J. Ledbetter. Being a Trump supporter is like supporting Jim Jones after drinking his Kool-Aid, which is true. I mean, I see the laugh emoji, but it's quite sad. So this is about Trump's health. I have the death card. It doesn't necessarily mean death, but I'm reading on Trump's health. And I have the death card. Remember, he did have COVID. He was in a gym with no air conditioning. However, I heard that there were other people that spoke too, and they weren't sweating like that. And I know it's hard for everybody in the rest of the country to believe, but it's much cooler. I don't even have my air conditioner in my office. I only have fans. It's much cooler in this part of the country. It's very different heat, but I'm just saying, it's not like it's 112 degrees here. It isn't. And Trump, I'm reading on Trump's health, and I have the death card. It's heart and lymphatic. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense, always blessed. This is the King of Coins. Well, since there's a turtle here, I'm sensing that Mitch McConnell is suffering from something similar. But we're reading on Trump. Trump is going to continue to behave as though he feels just fine. He's going to continue to behave as if he feels just fine. But that is not the case. He's actually, I know this sounds crazy probably, but he actually thinks that he's too rich to be sick. And he has long COVID too. Because you've probably heard me say this, when he got COVID, and when I was reading on him getting COVID in October 2020, I thought he was going to die. But he thinks that his money will save him from being sick. Go figure. I don't know how. But I want to remind you that Fred Trump programmed the Donald to read Norman Vincent Peale's The Power of Positive Thinking. I don't like when people, use that against Trump or as a way to say that, he was brainwashed. Because it's a really good book. The Power of Positive Thinking is a really good book. But Fred Trump used it almost like a cult brainwashing thing. So, my point is that Trump, because when I read on his health, I also read that he's plowing through pretending that he's not feeling poorly. He could have post-viral long-haul COVID. I haven't heard all those adjectives associated with long COVID, but let me see if that's what's going on. He does the power of positive thinking thing to make himself not appear to be sick. Yeah, and see, Darren's saying it's 82 in western Maryland mountains. It was only in the 70s all week. One day I almost put a sweater on. Is Trump suffering from long COVID? Yes. Is Trump's health going to affect the number of rallies he's able to do? Yes. His health will have an impact. Yes, it was that cool, Damon. I actually one day or evening, I don't remember when it was, I put a sweater on. Yeah, see, Nova Scotia's not that far. So it's only been in the 70s. It's raining. It's rained a lot. So my point is, it wasn't the actual heat that caused Trump to be sweating like that. Post-viral damage. Okay, I don't know a lot about long COVID. And speaking of COVID, be careful because COVID is making a return. And Cheryl's in Maine, and it's been very rainy and damp all summer. Is it rain you hear? I don't think it's raining. No, you might hear the fan. So, I'm just taking my sandals off. Feet are getting sweaty. Okay, so, I feel like I'm running behind, and there's so many questions to ask. The Mar-a-Lago, okay, so now we are in the, I remember when Obama said this, I think it was towards the end of his last term, and he said, oh, we're entering into the silly season. Well, think about this. We're in the silly season of Trump's defendants. We're in the silly season of the defendants for Trump, Trump's lawyers. We're absolutely in the silly season. Yeah, I've known a few people that have just recently gotten COVID too. Paula got COVID. Anybody else here, did you get COVID? Yeah, oh, interesting. He needs to slow down if he has long COVID, Darren's saying. And he won't slow down. That's why I'm bringing up the power of positive thinking. His father, Fred, programmed him to always think positively, to never, ever, ever, ever think of a negative thing. I try to tell you guys that. But I'm not talking about denial. Okay. So, the silly season of asking for things that are ridiculous, like not having a protective order. That's a big ask for those lawyers because it's pretty standard to have a protective order for the jury and witnesses in the case. Andre at Astrology Alert said the 45's health is real bad in his chart. Yeah. So they want a skiff at Mar-a-Lago. This is so ridiculous. Thank you, Maria. Much appreciate. I like that little gift. They're trying everything. It's like, I get that image of throwing the spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. That's what Trump's lawyers are doing. Okay, please hit the thumbs up. Just as a reward for my hard work. We will be sticking to the law of the land in terms of there ain't gonna be no skiff at Mar-a-Lago, just so you know. These people are crazy. No way, no way. The Hierophant is the rule of the law of the land. The law of the land is what prevails. The Ace of Coins. Trump's just trying to act like he's a billionaire, and he's not. Oh, Biden just funded a new study about COVID. That's good. No, it's not happening, James. That's not happening. And by the way, we're about to see the judges, even though they're having to order extra security and everything. And I hadn't heard that Jack Smith had to move. A lot of people have had to move. Aileen Cannon is going to go. Yeah, they make you laugh at every stupid request. It's the silly season. We're in the silly season of the Trump defenders. It's going to be one sillier thing after another, just like with Trump. It's just when you think he's gotten as bad as he can get, he gets worse. It's really amazing. So that's not going to happen. Aileen Cannon is going to be ousted. I predicted that a while back. I thought it would be sooner. I never saw her recusing herself. I saw that she would be pushed out. The Satan took out a prosecutor. Well, when you say took out, that sounds violent. Yeah. And who exactly will pay for that skiff? Who's paying for all this security? Who's paying for all this extra security that these judges have to have? Yeah, Betty, we've been talking about the fires in Maui. We need to be talking about that more. That's what I started with, and I want us all to pray a lot. You heard the NAACP's issued a travel advisory for black people considering a visit to Florida. Is that true? Trump is still taking Adderall. All right. As far as Aileen Cannon, I feel like the 11th Circuit Court is going to oust her, but I also felt like Jack Smith has never been concerned about Aileen Cannon screwing things up, because he figured she wouldn't make it anyway. All right, we're going to read on January 6th. I always felt like January 6th would be the first case to be tried. So I'm going to read about the January 6th trial. I'm jumping right to the trial. Jack will have her removed. I got that from the get-go. I got that. As soon as we found out that Aileen was going to be on the Mar-a-Lago documents case, and everyone was freaking out, I never worried about it. I felt like Jack would just kind of wait until she screwed up massively, royally. Amin from Connecticut involved in the January. I don't remember hearing that name. Was that somebody that was at the insurrection? Sounds familiar. When will Cannon be removed? There's Warren with the when. I'm gonna call you Warren with the when. She screwed up. Aileen Cannon is she's like a high school student pretending she's a judge. That's how bad it is. Yeah. She's going to be removed. She's going to be removed. She's going to be pushed out of there. She's a narcissist too, so she's not going to just recuse herself. Gloria, are you talking about an insurrectionist, like a citizen who was at the Capitol? Got a long sentence. Oh, okay. Okay, so January 6th. They're going to find out who was working with Trump. The lover card doesn't really mean romantic love. They're going to find out. Oh, thanks, Gloria. So it was an insurrectionist citizen. Got jail time. So this is about the January 6th trial. They're going to find out who was cozied up to Trump. It's going to be really emotional for those people who are cozied up to Trump. How about 10 o'clock last night? We find out that they found the plan. They found the plan for the January 6th plan. It just keeps growing, the whole thing. Yeah, it's going to be extremely emotional. It's going to upset a lot of people where we find out about January 6th, the trial. There's a lot of work being done still. But mostly I get that they're going to find out, they're going to have direct evidence of who helped Trump with the insurrection, and they're going to freak out. They're just going to freak out. They found a plan. It's on Twitter. I believe it's on Twitter. Let me think. Gosh, there's more than what happened on January 6th on Twitter. They had a plan before the election, and they found the plan. I'm telling you what, I had the news on last night. I love Lawrence O'Donnell. He's my favorite. I threatened to leave MSNBC entirely, but it was because they were talking too much about Trump as if he was a viable candidate. But things kind of switched around because then the indictment came and he had to show up at Washington, D.C. And then MSNBC on Morning Joe, they kind of changed their tune. I mean, X, no more Twitter. I'm just going to call it Twitter. I have no respect for Elon. Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. And Darren's mentioned the Potomac River. You know, the Potomac River was also part of, even though Washington crossed the Potomac and, you know, it's part of our amazing U.S. history, they had plans to ship arms across the river on January 6th. Lawrence cannot stand 45. Who can? So, it does, the moon card indicated that it would be a very emotional time because the insurrectionists that are in our government especially, and others that were involved, that like the Steve Bannons and the Roger Stones and all them, they will not be able to contest the evidence. Why does Jack want the Twitter account? I'm trying to remember if I heard about what he was actually looking for. There's more than just what happened on January 6th on Twitter and the direct messaging, the DMs. Lawrence O'Donnell, the psychic? I would believe that. Yeah, they're looking for evidence, Maria, on Twitter. And it was called Twitter when Trump was on it. But he didn't do the regular feed, but he direct messaged people. I know. The lawyer wants to move the trial from D.C. to West Virginia because it's more diverse there. Trump sued Lawrence O'Donnell years ago. I did not know that. That makes sense. That's why I like to watch Lawrence O'Donnell, because he's just like, this guy's going to get it. He's going to get it. He's going to get it. So 10 o'clock last night, the news came in that they found the plot that Trump was involved with to the January 6th plans. They have the plan. And every single time you're just like, that's it, he's done, right? That's it, he's done. And then he's not yet. Riding with the Biden. Who wrote it? I don't know, because the news just came out and I haven't heard the rest of it. I get my news from Midas Touch. Yeah, watch the news before you go. If you want to be up on what's going on, watch the news late at night, or if that's just too much for you and you don't want to have nightmares, watch the news in the morning. DeSantis suspension. Jack's got this. Yeah, and we also have to send lots of light and love to and protection to the Jack Smiths. And and this, I want us to look at it like this. I really do. It's in my heart that we look at it like this. They're on the front lines doing the work to save our democracy. The prosecutors and the investigators on Donald Trump, they're on the front lines doing the hard work to save our democracy. And the least we can do is send them protective energy and be involved in our democracy. And I think what happened in Ohio yesterday was a shot in the arm, to the people that are fighting for our democracy. They all, it's like a war. They all have put their lives on the line because some of their fellow American citizens want to kill them. They won't. But I'm just saying. No chance the trial will be moved from D.C. It's the silly season. Bless the woman of Ohio. And Alex Wagner is her last name on MSNBC last night. She was interviewing the woman who is part of the organization about women and wine, or red wine and women, I think it's called. She was beaming. I told you so many times, it's the women that are going to change the trajectory of this country back to a healthy democracy. Yeah, trials are in the location of the crime. It's so stupid for them to say, we want to move it to West Virginia. It's like, what? That's the silly part. Yeah, and we were talking about, at Grassroots of Democracy, we were talking about Ohio, and we were working on getting them to vote no in Ohio. So definitely join us. Let me take a commercial break. I'm going to have a sip of my tea first. It's not just Democratic women, it's about the effing music. It was Republican women too. Thanks, Sharon, for giving me a head start on my commercial. Here's my commercial. I have a new course coming up that starts in September, the second Saturday in September on the 16th. It runs for 6 weeks, and it's called Seriously Psychic. If you want to learn how to do psychic work, you should take this class, and it's going to be like the precursor to the Halloween season. And thank you, Rita, for the endorsement. The testimonial. If you'd like to book a psychic reading, please do. My schedule's like wide open. PsychicAnnetteDion.com. That's where you sign up for the course also. And that's a 6-week course. Seriously Psychic. Grassroots of Democracy, we meet tomorrow night. We meet on Thursdays for our discussion group. It's an hour. On Saturdays, we meet for an hour and a half for our work session. It's a lot of fun. We're all friends. Get involved in this virtual community where we save democracy. I'm starting to, yeah, Maria, you can take the psychic class course. I'm going to start calling my channel, PNN Psychic News Network, a pro-democracy channel created by a psychic. That's where you can tell people. I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to start calling this channel PNN Psychic News Network, a pro-democracy channel started by a psychic. Okay. One of the fake electors said she was tricked. That's true. Did I finish with grassrootsofdemocracy.com? If you can't attend the meetings, you will receive the notes if we have you on our email list. Church of Spirituality meets every single Sunday, 1 p.m. live stream. If you're not watching Church of Spirituality, you're missing an opportunity to learn chants, affirmation chants to use all the time. You're missing an opportunity to hear a great sermon and some great music, and check it out. It's free. I enjoy having donations. It keeps me going. But you're not obligated. And 20 on Tuesdays, every single Tuesday night, we have a 20-minute guided meditation for a healed America. Last night we were meditating on Ohio. And we always say, when something good happens for our democracy, which we want to see more and more, and we will, we say, we did that. We did that. Please hit the thumbs up and please subscribe, because I need to grow my channel. Yes, you can take the course as a newbie. It's for anybody. If you want to be seriously psychic. And Barbara's saying Church of Spirituality is very uplifting, and Barbara knows. Listen to Barbara. Here come the seagulls. They're saying, take the class, get a reading. Oh, and our mascots are Betty and Benny Bunny, and they have a sign that says, love democracy, grassrootsofdemocracy.com, and then it says democracy is cool. I'm not going to talk about somebody trying to take out Biden. We don't want to put energy into that. Yeah, the meditation for Ohio worked. That's why I like to say we did that. Colorado's judge just haunted your new law. Haunted your new law? I don't understand what that means. Saying call, call, call. Book a reading. Okay. I'm actually going to read on COVID. It's time for the bottle drop, isn't it? I'm actually going to read on COVID. I'm going to read on COVID. Halted, H-O-L-T, Rita. You're a school teacher, right? What did you say, Rita? Just halted your new law on being 21. He's an idiot. Everybody imagine the Democratic wave of energy engulfing the entire country. The only reason that we are not all in on democracy and all in, thank you, Darren. The only reason we're not all in, at least most of the country on we love democracy is because we have a cult in this country. We have a cult in this country. It's the cult of Trump. Please read up on cults, and then you'll understand why you can't talk sense into somebody who's in a cult. You just have to at least understand it. Read The Cult of Trump. This is about COVID. Anyone who's been with me for a while knows that I said that my guides handed it right to me at the start of COVID. There would be 1 million people dead before we got a handle on it. That was absolutely the case. And it wouldn't be gone until January 24. So, Rita, you didn't have to fix it, but yeah, it's H-A-L-T. Yeah, that guy in Colorado was an idiot, and we need to get rid of them. So imagine a blue wave of energy across the entire country, and sanity returns, and the cult destroyed. The cult itself, the cult, not the people. As far as COVID goes, we have stopped really tracking it because of some, what Utah threat? Anyway, hang on, we'll get to that. We kind of stopped tracking it because of Trump, because he wanted the CDC to stop tracking the numbers. Remember, Ron DeFascist got people in trouble for just reporting the data so they could track how many people had COVID. Those numbers are kind of gone. So if we're having a big upswing in COVID, it's likely that you won't hear very much about it. Thank you, Janice. Great job. What did I do? I'll take the great job part. So as far as COVID, it is coming back. The Nine of Swords, everyone be careful. It's not going to be to the level that it was. It's not going to be those really, 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 really deadly strains. But if you don't want to feel miserable with COVID, then be careful. Maria remembers what I said. Sometimes my guides just hand it right to me. Frequently, actually. I'm very grateful for that. It's very humbling. The Eight of Coins. Well, it's going to catch us off guard a little bit. Are you giving Rita a hug because she fixed her spelling? Betty and Bunny are very comfortable. Let me point out that the other day, just a side note, you remember when I said that about COVID? No, I can't take credit. It was the guides. The other day, I had all my tarot cards were on the floor, and all of a sudden I had this epiphany. I was like, why don't I get a bookcase? So lo and behold, I went onto Facebook Marketplace, and I got this really nice bookcase, and now all my cards are on the bookcase, and I thought Betty and Benny would just love to sit on the shelf. Betty and Bunny on the shelf, like Elf on the Shelf. They could be like Elf on the Shelf, right? Are you behaving and saving our democracy? Anyway, COVID's returning. It's going to catch us off guard. But we will see I feel like the Biden administration is going to get on it right away and make sure that we see what's really going on with COVID. Thank you. You like my bookcase? It's painted like this really this deep, like indigo blue. It's perfect. I'm a big advocate of getting used things. Betty is such a looker, isn't she so cute? Let's see. I'm gonna read about, so that was about COVID. It's gonna come back and it's gonna catch us off guard. But it won't be like it was. Glad you like my bookcase. It really makes a big difference in terms of organization. Will Gloria Johnson's Tennessee run for Marsha Blackburn's seat? Yes, she is running for, she is. I thought she already announced that. Okay. What should I read on before I leave you tonight? I'm taking a question. Yes, she'll beat Marsha Blackburn. Absolutely. Marsha, you know, it's amazing to me how dumb so many people that are serving in our government, insurrectionists and all, how dumb they are. They're so dumb. Look at Matt Gaetz. How smart do you think Matt Gaetz is? Look at, let's read on James Comer. James Comer reminds me of the class dunce. That's how I look at him. I read on McConnell and I saw him being out by September. Totally slipped my mind what I'm going to read about. Okay, so it must be something else. Oh, Jim Comer. Okay. James Comer. What flipped over just now was a 4 of coins, which means he's holding back. Thank you. Did you hear that the fascist is now taking William Shakespeare out of the classroom? He needs to go. There's a bottle drop. See? The bottle drop. Perfect timing. He needs to go. I'm reading on James Comer right now. The guy running against Josh Hawley has a really cool ad out now. Good, good. And you know what? Visualize it. More and more Americans are going to be like, screw this! We're taking over! No, what I'm doing is I'm reading on James Comer. I'm not leaving yet. Probably should. I should probably make my videos shorter. Does Satan fired the only black prosecutor in Florida? What a demon. I get that that's going to come back to haunt him. He needs to take himself out of the classroom. He needs to mind his own damn business. I think that Ron DeFascist needs to get his IQ checked. Jim Comer. Huh. It looks to me like he's... It looks like there's a woman, kind of like a prosecutor or a senator. There's a very powerful woman that's going to put... I almost think it's Nancy Pelosi that's going to put James Comer in his place. He's conspiring with the insurrectionists in our government, James Comer. And the chariot is something's going to happen quickly. He's going to be removed from his high horse, James Comer. Soon. September, October. Kathy, I think Kathy was here but is not here now. Kathy Beale, professional aquarian, mentioned that September and especially October are really big months for the whole smoke and mirrors show to fall apart. You know, the fascist smoke and mirrors show. And if you think that this isn't fascism, if you think that they're not attempting to take over our country and replace it with a fascist government, that is what they're trying to do. an authoritarian and fascist dictatorial government. That's what they are trying to do. It's a good thing they're stupid. Read about fascism, because it's exactly what Donald Trump is doing. I'm actually going to read next on... By the way, I do feel the Democrats are going to start winning. I have to give you my chant for Democrats winning now that I've already sang you my democracy song. And I've told this to you before, but I'm going to teach it to you all on a regular basis. I was a cheerleader in high school. It's kind of like a cheer. We were good. We were very, very skilled. Anyway, this is a long time ago. It goes, here's the chant. More Democrats running in elections winning. I've taught this to you before. More Democrats running in elections winning. Easy to remember. More Democrats running in elections winning. One more time. More Democrats running in elections winning. Yahoo! So I want y'all to learn the song that I sang earlier and to learn that little chant. And I will be doing it again. I'm going to read on the safety of our judges and our prosecutors in general. Did you like that? More Democrats running in elections winning. If you go for a walk, it really goes well. And I have this vision of being in like marches, protest marches, you know, events, and we're all cheering at it. And speaking of that, I heard them chanting in Ohio. I forget what they were chanting. It was something about saying no, voting no. Who is the class pervert? James Comer? More Democrats running in elections winning, right? That's what we're going to be chanting all next year. Oh, you're talking about Matt Gaetz? I'm reading about the judges and the safety of the judges and the prosecutors. Pray to Archangel Michael. I think they're talking about Matt Gaetz. Who that is, like, confused. Okay. I see some new names in the chat. Thanks for showing up. I'm glad to have you here, and all my regulars. Where would I be without you? Well, okay, so what I'm asking about is the safety of the prosecutors and the judges that are prosecuting Trump. The safety, the two of swords. They're having to walk a tightrope, right? Rose Blue is singing a song. Did you make up a song about Rico? It's not easy. We have to support them as best we can. Even if it's just visualizing them protected. Pray to Archangel Michael. The chariot, it looks like something is going to happen that's going to be put down swiftly. Remember when they raided Mar-a-Lago? I guess it was like, I don't know if it was a year ago to the day, but it was in August. And then Trump started going on and on. Before we leave tonight, I'm going to read on whether that gag order is going to go ahead. Or if he's going to be in jail awaiting trial. The chariot, it does feel like there's going to be something that happens. That was such a sad thing. This brainwashed guy went and, went to the FBI office and they ended up having to shoot him because he was a clear and present danger. He was shooting at the windows. Yeah, please hit the thumbs up. So it does look like something happens, but they put it down pretty quickly. And the Ace of Cups. They're using up a lot of taxpayer dollars to keep these judges and prosecutors safe. So not only is this really costing us our mental health, what the insurrectionists have put us through, and Trump, the grand poobah of the cult, it's costing us a lot of money. These stupid clown sham trials and hearings, and having to get all the safety for these judges, protection, it's costing us a lot of money. Damon says he thinks George is going to attempt to throw Trump in jail. I think it was yesterday when I was reading on that. Yeah, the video I did from yesterday, I was reading on what's going to happen in Georgia, and I got guilty as charged. Big time, very clear. Guilty. I don't know if you were here. Guilty. I got it. Rita, you gotta believe me. You gotta believe me. Let's out, because I got guilty. Fani Willis has a really tightly buttoned up case. Is Trump going to be sent to jail? Yes. Yes. That state will throw you in jail for no car insurance, right? Will Trump, well, the way that things are going right now, with the current trajectory, who that? I think that you're new. I just want to tell you that what we do here is we refrain from saying things that are not hopeful, because it helps everybody. We think that he's going to jail. I mean, it's not 100%, but I'm just saying, we keep it on the up and up, and I'm so grateful that you're here. It's just a practice that we do, and if you're new, you don't know, and it's fine. I'm not mad at you or anything. There's a very strong impression that Trump is going to be sent to jail. And we're going to go with that. Let's just intend it. A lot of people don't really understand the law of attraction. Tweet, Scotchy. More Democrats running in elections winning. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm yelling at them, because that's not my intention. I'm just being helpful. So, hang on, we still have tea leaves. Positive vibes, good vibrations, and intentions. We're aspirational. Trump's lawyer was saying that, oh, he wasn't pressuring Raffensperger. I'm telling you, it's a silly season. Yeah, visualize him handcuffed and looking out through the bars. That's what I'm saying. Visualize it. It has an impact. This is metaphysics. It's the law of attraction. It's the way it works. We are creating our reality. Bannon probably wrote the plan. Yeah, interesting. Positivity. Aspirational asking. I'm telling you, it must really suck to be Trump's lawyer. Okay. Is Trump going to be in jail awaiting trial because of his violent talk? I'm getting a yes on that. Don't doubt, visualize. I like that, Terry. That's a good one. I'm getting a yes on that. And I really do feel like the reason that the pendulum was saying, I'm not saying this because I have to be right. I was just curious as to why the pendulum was giving me such a strong yes. About Trump being indicted yesterday, and it's just that it's in the air. And I know he wants to be put in jail, but does he really? What? Thanks for having me. Oh, yeah, okay. I get where you're coming from, who that? Yeah, we're sad for the ignorant, so we're working on turning it around. That's all. We love you and we want you here. So, Trump's lawyer will leave. Let's ask this. What's his name? Lardo? What's his name? Trump's lawyer. Why am I saying Lardo? That's not it. Laro? Is Laro going to remain his, is he going to stay being the lawyer? No, he's not going to stay. That was a Freudian slip. Laro. Who is this? Michael Cohen calls Mar-a-Lago Mar-a-Lago? I think he does. Anyway, let's read some tea leaves. I don't know. I'm on overload tonight. Like I think we all are. It's getting more humid too. Boy, do we have a big clump of, we have a big clump of tea leaves all in the communication and the Saturn. Hang on, the tea leaves. Saturn, oh no, Jupiter. One of these days I'm going to get that straight. Mercury and Jupiter and the diamond. Today's Wednesday. We're going to know a whole lot by Friday. We're going to know a ton by Friday. I'm just going to leave you with that. There's all kinds of like trees and woods and forests. We're going to have a whole lot of motion in the justice area. I'm picking up on Friday. What's the moon is in Cancer on Friday in the evening, Gemini. Okay. Keep your eyes peeled for Friday. Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, something's coming the end of the week. Let me ask this. Is it, because it's in, Mercury is here and Jupiter is here, so some big news is what that is. And we're going to really like it, because I see the heart is very prominent too. It looks like there's an angel. I see an angel too. Is it the indictment on Friday? It's possible the indictment will be Friday. Or something big is going to come out on Friday. That's all I have for you. Some of you are taking off, so usually, just if you're new, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we kind of have a party here. And that's 7 Eastern time for about 90 minutes. And I love you all. You can feel it coming in the air at night. That's a great Phil Collins song. Thank you for letting me know about Robbie Robertson. I'm going to write a song in his honor. Oh, Shutkin is meeting with 45 about the gag order. That's interesting. Okay, and before I leave, that's a very good point. Friday I make drinks for you. I might. Just to recap, I'm talking about Friday. A lot's happening on Friday, and in the cup, it's Mercury and Jupiter, so something big in the communication area. I think we're gonna like it. Come back on Friday. We have Friday Night Live, so come back, and I hope to see you. Please share the video or maybe share the shorter videos. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll do videos that I upload that are shorter, and I'm starting to do more shorts too. Something good is coming. Pat yourself on the back for helping to save democracy. See you soon. Namaste. Lots of love. Keep going.